here I am driving red with my all new fuel hoses, and it's still doing the same frickin' thing. It keeps cutting out, like there's fuel starvation going on. I'm starting to run out of ideas. Now, one thing I noticed when I had my strainer out was when I filled up with my last tank of fuel, the fuel tank was full of mud. I think my fuel system is contaminated, and probably most likely my frickin' screen is 100% blocked. It was almost 100% blocked when I had it out to replace the fuel tank hose. So this car is still not drivable. It stalled when I was leaving my house going to the fuel station. I just assumed I only had 10 litres of fuel in there. I went around the corner too aggressively and it stalled. And, you know, because there was not much fuel in there, I just assumed it was the 10 litres of fuel going away from the swirl pod and it's sucking in air. When I got to the fuel station, again, the car wouldn't start. I cycled the pump 5 times and I kept hearing air bubbles in the fuel tank. And I'm like, right, I was definitely very low. I've now got 40 litres of fuel in the tank and it's still doing the same thing. It's got to be that strainer. Which means I basically paid for a fuel tank full of mud when I got my last tank of fuel, which is completely ridiculous. I'm probably going to have to remove this tank and clean it out. Let this be a lesson. You see high octane fuel on special, the cheapest in the state. Hey, it's not worth it because this has completely rooted up my fuel tank, I would assume. Because everything is new on this car. It should not be stalling like this and sucking in air. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm fairly confident it's to do with all of that mud in the fuel tank. Just as a continuation, when the car comes to a complete stop, I can hear the fuel pumps straining. These are brand new fuel pumps. They're almost silent in normal situations. So absolutely my fuel system's been contaminated. God damn it. Perhaps I've been a victim of vandalism, not to myself personally, but possibly the fuel station where I bought that on special 98 octane fuel. It is in a kind of crappy area. It's possible young thugs filled the nozzle of the fuel pump with mud for the next poor unsuspecting victim. In any case, I've got my e-waste borescope going here and I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. These cars are not happy sitting around with these metal fuel tanks. This tank looked absolutely brand new when I installed it, and it's already all rusted up on the inside, because clearly I don't drive this thing enough. And that is definitely the case, because I've only done about 500 kilometers in the last couple of years, which is not good. Not good for anyone. Not good for the soul, and not good for the 124. Anyway, let's have a closer look inside the tank. And yeah, it's a bit of a horror show. This was all silver at one stage. And you can clearly see the layer of mud at the bottom of the tank there, and there's quite a bit in the swirl pot there. And I will show you more clearly shortly that it actually almost gets up to the halfway point on that screen. So there is definitely a fuel suction restriction going on there. No doubt as you're driving around, that moves around in there and potentially blocks it up 100%. And you can see on the left of that swirl pot, there's quite a layer of mud in there. So I'm going to have to take this tank out, turn it upside down or on its side and blast it out and dry it out. Fortunately, this is kind of a repair that doesn't cost anything. It's just annoying and time consuming. And let it be a lesson as well to drive your 124s more. Here's that clearer photo. You can see the layer of mud on the bottom and also rising up that inlet screen filter. That was almost completely blocked when I took that out last time. I did clean it and obviously it's blocked again.